Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Dallas Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty, and today we have Chris Meyer and Darlene Doane, and we're going to be talking about a Thanksgiving event coming up at the pizza stove that Darlene's going to be putting on. But first, Marty with local events.
Local events. So at the Bells Falls Opera House, it's week 2 of Red 1. That's a lot of numbers there. It runs through Tuesday, November 26th. Again, it's a little like Santa Meets the Rock, kind of. I think
Adventure movie with Santa.
Different. Santa's actually weightlifting in one scene, so that's a little different than the jiggle in his belly. The classic movie this week is West Side Story. Which really, I didn't realize that the original production was 1961, and I watched the trailer for it.
Yeah.
I was like,
You were a jet.
yeah, it was like very cool. Natalie Wood, Rita Moreno, very memorable movie. And if you go to Popolo or Chow first, what happens?
If you come to Chow first, you get a free movie ticket. So Wednesday nights are dinner and a movie. And so you come in for dinner, you have dinner between 4 and 8, or prior to that, if you're going to go to the movie, you get a free movie ticket.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So there you go. Classic movie, classically good food. Can't beat it. Oh, and the sponsor, I always like to mention the sponsor. The sponsor for this week's classic movie is Greater Falls Insurance. If you recall, last week we had Betsy Thurston on, and she was talking about a need for volunteers. Well, this is the weekend.
Yes.
They're on Sunday. They will need volunteers to help with putting up, on Saturday, you can go. I know, I messed you guys up because I don't have them in order on my sheet, so I'm going to backtrack. On Saturday, Hallidays is doing one of the many classes that they do this time of the year, and they're doing the Thanksgiving centerpiece class. So the number is on the screen if you want to call and be part of that class. I think it generally... people always post the beautiful centerpieces that they've done, so it's quite fun. So now we can go on to Sunday. Sorry, guys. Sunday is volunteers are needed to help decorate the square with... Okay, I'm just going to keep talking. With garland and snowflakes. And now I'm caught up. So on Thursday, December 5th, I know, this is why it's fun here. And part of it is 100% my fault. I wrote these things and then I realized I didn't have the right order, but I put the clips in the right order, so it's all on me. Thursday, December 5th, the Wild Goose Players will be presenting the Bellows Follies. It's a gender-bending musical fundraiser. Tickets are $20, and 10% of the proceeds will go to support CASP and help a refugee family that help get them settled in the community. So definitely worth going out for a night. And you could go. It's a Thursday night. You guys are open on Thursday?
We will be open that Thursday.
See, there you go.
Yes.
Follies and pizza, or drinks after, or
Yes.
drinks before. All
Yes,
kinds
drinks
of
before, for
all
certain.
kinds of opportunities to make it a very much a festive evening. So that's it. Local events was a bit of a mess today.
That was
but-
good. Very good.
Good job.
Welcome, guys. I just want to say, just as a response to what was just happening there, it's really nice having you downtown because you respond so much to what else is happening. It's not just like, I'm here, I have these hours, and this is what it is. It's like, I'll work with this group, and I'll work with that group, and we'll come together and do this.
Yeah,
That is
you
really
have to.
nice.
You
Thank
have to in a community. You have to work together with everybody. So.
Speaking of working together, that's a good segue.
You were good.
segue.
You
All
nailed
right.
that one today.
You two guys are working together on a project, right?
We've been friends for a long time,
Yes.
and fast friends for a number of years now. Darlene and I were always connected just because of being in Chester, being in part of the community, reaching out and doing things. And I have to say, it's appropriate being on the feed for this particular event
Yes.
because, Darlene and I cut our teeth on the Vermont Everyone Eats program together, and Darlene and her staff made an amazing 15,000 pizzas over the course of 34 months that went out to, Windham and Windsor County, Bennington County, all over the place. People got those pizzas. And we've sort of stayed together and in touch and always been trying to put our heads together and see what can we do for the community. And for me, I mean, this is a deeply personal event. I'm a holiday guy, and I'm a holiday guy because of my mom. And my mom passed in March of 22. And we sort of took the holidays off that year. And this past year in 23, we're like, let's do something different. You know, the entirety of my family sort of like fractured into smaller pods after my mom passed. And we decided, you know, I love having a big table. I love having a big meal. I love having lots of people around. And I went to Darlene and I'm like, how would you like to let me have your restaurant for a day? And she's like, which day? And I'm like, Thanksgiving.
Yeah. No, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
You wouldn't typically be open on Thanksgiving. though,
No,
would you?
people don't usually come out for pizza
yeah.
on Thanksgiving. But no, it was just one of those things when he approached me, it's like, you know, what more can we give back, you know, to the community? It was like, at first I'm like, oh, how are we going to do this? Because I didn't know exactly how you're going to put it together, but you always pull it off no matter what. But it was like, you know, let's do this. So we got a lot of, you know, the restaurants came together. Chris, you know, does very well with that. And then we're just getting all the logistics, the tables, the chairs, the silverware, the plates. How are we going to do this? Are we going to have live music? You know, there's all these little things that we put together. And last year was a huge success.
It was
You did
massive.
an amazing
So this is
job.
a holiday dinner on Thanksgiving
Yes.
at the Pizza Stone,
Yes.
and it's not just pizza, right?
There's no pizza.
There's no pizza.
There's no
It's
pizza.
all
It is
traditional Thanksgiving. Yeah.
And how is that being funded?
So it's a lot of donations. You know, I went around to a lot of our V partner restaurants and said to the chefs, to the owners, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? And asked them to make it. And they made 2, 3, 4 pans of their favorite. And, you know, New American Grill in Londonderry, JC's in North Springfield, you know, Darlene made a famous soup of hers. You know, Smitty's Market in Chester. The list just goes on for restaurants that contributed copiously. Killarney in Ludlow. And we took all these different food items, and you know, we had basically a buffet. We set up the place family style so people could sit down at tables, and there was no assigned seats or anything like that. Darlene arranged for live music from one of her many friends in the music industry. It was an exceptional experience. It was just, you know, companionship, warmth, amazing food, and, you know, no pressure because everything was completely free.
I was just going to ask you, and who came? Who was your audience? Who were you hoping to come? Were you surprised by people that came? And
If you heard about it, you were welcome.
okay.
And it's one of those things where we had people come from fairly far away. There's a lot of competition in the Thanksgiving dinner market. You know, VTEL does a meal. There's Turning Points does a meal. There's other organizations doing meals around. But, you know, this was one of those things in a very recognizable space. People know the Pizza Stone. And it's just walk in, accepted. Everyone was accepted. It's friendly. And it was amazing. I mean, you know, my 86-year-old dad insisted on being part of it and stood in the line for like an hour and a half serving people.
Wow.
And
that's nice.
he was like, you know, because it's really, I mean, I do it in honor of my mom, but we do it for the community.
Right.
And it's just an amazing experience. You know, we're very fortunate to have made these connections through the Everyone Eats program, because what it translates to is that you have a community that is never asked to do everything themselves. And that's the big thing, is that so many restaurants and so many other, you know, partners in the community are asked to do all of it. They're like, we're doing this event, can you do the food? And it's like, I outsource it. You know, I go to 10 or 12 or 15 partners and say, hey, can you do this little thing? And it works because no one feels like they're crushed by the ask.
Well, that's so important because nowadays, with how restaurant food costs are and the way things are with the restaurants, to be able to spread it over 10, 12, 15 restaurants, you're more apt to say, yes, I want to help. People want to help. You know what I mean? Restaurants want to help more so than a lot of other businesses where, you know, people come to us, you know, we take care of people, they take care of us. But when we can give back a little bit, it means a lot, you know, because people basically, when they come to eat at your restaurant, you know, they're putting a roof over your head too. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, coming together as a group of entrepreneurial restaurant people, we definitely like to give back, you know, and it's so much easier when we have 15 other restaurants pitching in, you know.
True. Plus, you made a good point when we were talking prior to the show that you only ask once a year.
Right.
So there's not like what we often hear is like donor fatigue. Like sometimes people, ask all the time for stuff for sponsoring this, sponsoring that. I think that makes a difference too, that you recognize it's an ask and you're respectful of the fact and you only do it once a year. I think that makes a big difference.
And it's very personal too. Like I said, when Max makes his green bean casserole, Max is the chef and owner of the New American Grill in Londonderry. I mean, you're going to want it again. Garrison at Smitty's in Chester, he makes his, family stuffing dressing. And it's amazing. It's got sausage and cranberries in it. It's delicious. And, we went through a ton of it last year. And, it's just one of those things where it's a personal thing. And people are invested in it. The chefs are invested in it. The other restaurant owners are invested in it because they all contributed something that was meaningful to them. And then you see the pictures when we do the event, or you hear about it after the fact from someone who was there. And it's like, it's just a great community thing.
Right.
And, we don't turn anyone away. We'll have to-go containers so that, some of what will probably be a copious amount of turkey left over. We can share that out.
Yeah.
And then, if we do have a significant amount of leftovers, they'll go to the Springfield Family Center. And they'll be available for them to use the following week. So there's a plan for everything. The only thing we didn't plan for last year was we got there. There's like the buffet is laid out. It is beautiful. There's like 20 different pans of food, and there's not a spoon, a serving spoon, in the whole restaurant. I mean, so, thank goodness Dollar General was open on Thanksgiving Day because we
There's
cleaned
no
them out.
spoons in pizza, Chris.
That's going to be your mantra. No,
Right,
no
no
spoon for
spoons in
you.
pizza.
No spoons in pizza.
You know,
Spoons in pizza.
I like to think, they say planning is priceless, plans are worthless. And I like to think I planned pretty well, but not in that case. It was a
Sometimes, yeah.
a
But it came
standout.
off all right.
It
It
did.
did.
How many people did you serve last year?
It's about 137,
Wow, that's great.
and we were right near capacity for Pizza Stone. And we also delivered about a dozen, 2 dozen meals in the community to people who couldn't make it out.
So you're doing this. You have a core crew. Do you need volunteers? I mean, it sounds like a perfect thing that if someone wanted to give back, standing in the line serving sounds very inspirational to me.
It is. I think the last time we spoke when I was on the show, one of the things I said was one of the most perfect experiences you can have is feeding somebody else. It is. It is it's like a civilization building kind of feeling, because when you have enough food that you can share it with someone else, it means that survival is not as tight as it might have been. And, sure, that's a big flowery way to look at it, but, people come in who maybe have never had food from the restaurants that we're serving from. People come in who have maybe never had an extravagant, elaborate Thanksgiving dinner. Their idea of Thanksgiving might be very much simpler than what we do. And we try and blow it out and have it be extravagant and rich and luxurious. And then people can get stuffed, go home, put their feet up, watch the game or watch something on TV and be like, I'm really full. And maybe they took a container home with them so they've got
Right.
dinner
Yeah,
leftovers.
that's right. That's wonderful. How about what are the hours?
So we open the doors at 12:30.
Okay.
And then we'll start serving, depending on how quickly it fills up, 1:30 we'll start serving. And we'll go until people are done eating.
Wow, that's
So,
great.
or we're out of food. And I don't think we're going to run out of food. So I think we'll tire out the stomachs of Chester and surrounding towns first.
Okay, if people want to volunteer, how do they contact you or?
So they can call the Pizza Stone,
Yep.
certainly, and talk to the staff there. We're pretty good on volunteers this year, just
Oh,
because
okay, good,
there
good.
is a core that's
They're
in
ready
advance.
to go. Yeah.
But even if you come by to help and we don't need your help, have a great meal.
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving Day. It is great company in a great environment. What more could you really ask for?
But they could come later and help me break down the tables.
Or I heard something about dishwashing too. Is there a dishwashing option?
Oh yeah, there's dishwashing. Yes.
So
yes.
we work with Vince Prosciutti, who is the GM and chef
Vince is great.
at the Upper Pass Lodge in Londonderry. It's near the base of Magic Mountain. And he is a one-man machine. I mean, he has a long hospitality background behind him, and he says, I'm a cook, I'm not a chef. He'll tell you that a million times. But watching him cycle food out and run the dishwasher all by himself, we're like, what can we do? He's like, nothing, I already did it.
Yeah.
And this is
Hence the difference between a cook and a chef.
it's a
Generally
valid
Yes.
point.
Generally speaking.
Good point.
I'm just saying, I worked in the restaurant
Good
industry
point.
for a long time,
Yeah.
and you always, if you were a waitress, you wanted cook. sucks.
Yeah.
Just going to throw that out there.
Absolutely.
No shade to chefs, but
Absolutely.
generally speaking,
Yeah.
that's the truth.
And he's something special. He was he's a huge heart.
Yeah,
He
is.
gave so much during the V program. His restaurant there at the Upper Pass, it's the Red Slate. They are open, 7 days a week now. They've got like special nights. They do a taco night. They do a meatball grinder night. Things like that. He's found a niche where being open all those days of the week actually pays off for what is a quiet place in the area otherwise. And he's just amazing. I mean, he has done so much that people don't even realize or know about. And if he was watching this or heard about it, he would be embarrassed and be unable to listen to it because it would be just too much for him. But he deserves the attention. Like I said, last year what he did, handling all of that without help. I mean, we had too many people to serve food because there wasn't any help he needed in the back.
Wow.
So it was great.
Yeah.
We're lucky. I mean, the V program brought together such an incredible group of people that a lot of them didn't really know each other previously.
Right.
And like I knew Darlene previously, but we're buddies, and she knows that she could call me for
Yes.
something, and I would do everything possible to help her answer that question or fulfill that need.
Yes.
And she is there every time I call. So far.
Every time he calls.
So much. I mean, I did drag you
It's not
out
just
to
a
come
one
to the
thing.
show today.
No, it's good. It's good. I always know when I get a call, I'm like, okay, Chris is calling. It's got to be important.
It's true.
So it always works out.
Yeah, it's, I do get on my projects and, try and follow those down. I think that community traditions are important.
I think they are, and I think we're so far away from them. That's why I like the fact that the Parade of Lights has become such a big.
I'm so
thing.
excited
Like, we
for
have
that.
these
Yeah.
we have these
I
like,
really am.
signature kind of things. I think
Yeah.
each community should have at least one thing that really
Yeah.
brings the community together.
Yeah, I was really, really blown away. I snuck upstairs and just looked out the window, and I couldn't believe the people.
Oh, you would have the best view too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, there's so many people in
Yeah.
town. And I knew that you'd done it in previous years, but last year I was like, where did all these people come from? It was great. It was really good to see the town
Yeah.
so full. Yeah.
It's definitely an event, for Southern Vermont. And as people hear about it from wider and wider ranges, I mean,
It's growing exponentially.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think that Bells Falls has been a very fortunate community in my view, because I know Deb Collier from the Chamber recently retired, but there's been a bunch of leaders in the town who are really great at making these events take root and watering them and nurturing them and turning them into something really, really special. I mean, the square in Bells Falls already looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful. And if you have to find places to start like rebuilding our communities and re-engaging the people in our communities, it's things like this. It's going back to the potlucks and the community meals and concert, the shows that you have at the Stone, and having these great events like the Electric Parade, the Light Parade, which are just brilliant and magical.
and fairly simple, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Not. You just have to get people to decorate their cars. You have
Yeah.
to have a lineup. Make sure that there's a little bit. I'm not making it sound like it's super easy, not a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's not a crazy concept. Like it's and people really jumped on it. I think
Right.
because it was simple. Hey, I can put Christmas lights all over my vehicle.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Somebody else had something different. I could do something. So
Right.
it grew, but it started out as pretty simple. And I think sometimes we overthink the things that can be. We plan and try to make something elaborate, and then it's like it doesn't go as easy as something that's kind of just a simple concept.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's,
Yeah.
it's. I love the funky. I love people's imagination and what they come up with. Was it the DPW crew that won last year? What's the award you win? The Meister? Is it the
Cheermeister.
The Cheermeister.
Cheermeister award.
They were great.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
guys getting together and doing their thing. It was
Yeah.
wonderful. It was so good to see. Next year I'll get a floated. I'll do a dual float.
There you go. a giant lit up pizza.
Yeah, a giant pizza, and then we'll do some chow stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll come together. We'll do a float. You should get on that with me.
Hey, you just have to call.
All right.
There you go. I was
All
just going
right.
to say you might have to
know,
place a
yeah,
call.
I will.
It's a reverse.
We'll have to do that. We'll reverse
I'm going to
that.
bet that when you're in the parade, there's a better seat than trying to find room on the sidewalk. So I like a good seat.
Yeah, it's
you know.
good. Good. Awesome.
It's but isn't it great that something simple like a Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas lights what it can do to people's mood and cheer. And I think
Absolutely.
we've forgotten how great simple things are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, organization is a thing, and
Right,
you know, we
right.
all have to acknowledge it. But you know, just those simple pleasures. You know, we don't need all the fanciness and the technology to really just go out and feel good.
Right.
Yes.
You know, standing next to your neighbors on a
Yeah.
cold afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to see, not that I'm volunteering, but I think it would be cool to bring back caroling. Do you remember caroling back in
I
the
do.
day?
Yeah.
That was
I
another
wasn't very
community
good
thing.
at
You
it,
didn't
but
have to, I was
yes.
going to say, you didn't have to be good, right? Because a lot of times you were going around in a big group, so you didn't have to be good, the singer. But it just brought that spirit
Yeah.
of, I can remember doing it as a kid. We would go out, like groups of friends, and it was just fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe that's, again, I'm not volunteering. but just
But let's come back to
just
let's come
throwing
back
it
to
out
today's
there.
show.
Right.
We're doing a Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Everybody's welcome.
Everybody.
Fantastic food,
Amazing food.
Yes.
possibly fantastic music,
Yeah, I'm working on someone
Yeah.
right now.
great space, wide open.
Yes.
The pizza stove is like perfect for this. Sort of.
Yeah, it's a big
It's
open.
like a big open space,
Yeah,
big
it is.
tables,
Yeah.
big. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's amazing the people who come in that you never knew were your neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing for me because, you know, my community exploded when we started the V program
Yeah.
because you never knew who was going to drive up in line. And this is another great way. You never know who's going to walk through the door and
Right.
sit down at one of the tables and have this meal. And you're going to have a conversation with them. And you're going to find out that, you know, Ann and Carl just moved here from Texas. Or, you know, Mike and Loretta,
Yeah.
you know, had their plans changed and they're in Vermont this weekend as
Yeah.
opposed to someplace else. And they
Yeah.
came to that Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It is super personal. And that's what I love.
Yeah.
You know, it's during COVID and, you know, the work we did, my passion for people was reignited to a level that I hadn't previously experienced.
Right.
And because we are all going through stuff.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can have an hour or two of your time and feed you and it changes your perspective for that day,
Yeah.
that's a win.
It's
It's
totally-
true. It's amazing how that disruption of COVID actually created all this good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
And
the
thank goodness.
the unintended consequence of COVID has really created a lot of friendships and this rebound now of everybody coming together,
Yeah.
which is sort of nice.
It is
so
sort of nice.
important.
Yeah.
It really is. Community is really important.
If we don't have our community, who do we really have?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We depend on it. It's our lifeblood.
Mhm.
You know, and I try to do as much for the community as I possibly can with both locations. You know, if someone needs the space or we talk or, you know, someone needs, you know, an event going on or someone has a birthday party or whatever, you try to do what you can do. It's because it's like, if you don't have your community, what do you
Boy,
have?
yeah, that's it.
You know, it's really important.
Now, here's the important question. What are your Thanksgiving plans?
Yeah.
So we do a traditional all-family Thanksgiving at my sister's house.
Yeah, and I'm doing a potluck with my daughter at her house.
Oh, fun.
With
Favorite
the-
Thanksgiving dish?
I actually like turkey. That's my favorite.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
How about you?
Stuffing girl.
Right?
Yeah, and actually
Don't leave me hanging.
the stuffing, what you were describing was like very close to the traditional stuffing my mom did. Yeah,
Yeah, like years
it's the
ago.
sausage.
I became the stuffing person in our family, and it was like a Food Network recipe. It was like an Alton Brown or something like that, and it has like sausage and it has cranberries in it, and just it is used like cornbread as opposed to like traditional stuffing, and it's amazing. And like we would go through like multiple pots of it. You wouldn't run out of turkey or anything else, but you'd run out of the
Yeah.
stuffing. So I get that. I mean, I could have that, just a plate of that, you know, as my leftovers.
100%. So we are down to about a minute of time. Do you want to
Okay.
just do any quick plugs for Chow? Do you have any music nights coming up, or
Yeah, this
you're
weekend
booking?
we actually have music. We have music Friday night with Tom Nielsen, and then Saturday night we have Swing Low playing in the lounge. Where the fireplace is now up and running, as long as it doesn't get too warm. It's been crazy not to be able to light it before the past couple weeks. The weather's been insane. But yeah, we have just got a quarter wood, so we're lighting up the fireplace this winter. So yeah, just keep on Facebook and Instagram. I
Right.
tend
Check
to post where my
Facebook on
music.
Friday for who's. I'm a actual pizza stone buff. You know
Yeah, I
that.
know you are.
Who was it
bands
last
of
week
Pizza
with
Stone.
the electric cello? That was really
Oh,
good.
Down Boy, they're
Yeah,
fantastic.
Down Boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
they,
man,
they play in
were-
both locations actually, and great guys, and they
Yeah.
have a really big following. They seem to wherever they play seem to fill the place.
Yeah,
which is
I
really
can
nice.
understand that. They were really
Yeah.
very dynamic, and
Yeah.
the electric cello was
Yeah,
quite.
yeah, we're working on music for this weekend, but the night before Thanksgiving at Pizza Stone will be open is Tom Davidson and Graham from Gypsy Reel. So
There's a
yeah.
blast from the past name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. So they'll
yeah.
be playing Wednesday night, and I won't be open at Chow that night, but we'll be open at Pizza Stone traditionally. It's a night kids come home from school, you know,
Yeah,
families
yeah.
get together.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody wants to cook.
Yeah.
Pizza's usually the best bet. So
That's a
that's
great
what we do for
idea.
Wednesday
Yeah.
nights, so.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you next week on the feed.
Bye,
Bye,
Keene.
Keene.
Thank you.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and